21st, 2013. February 21st, 2013. It's kind of like a little delay in setting this up. So sometimes it catches the date on the front, which is kind of my signature. I like to at least put the date. So when I write a description, I usually put day. Today's going to be day 42. No, it's 52. That's right. I hit that 50 mark. So day 52. But I just put the date because the date kind of just is going to be the calendar year. As long as I can get a date in there, I can at least go down and check off day by day by day. I was talking about 8 tracks yesterday, and there's two stories I left out. One was about Grandpa Frankie. We moved back to Minnesota, and we were staying with him there before we moved back to the Twin Cities in Wilmer. He was in the market for a car, and since we had been working on, in the latter part of this, I'm going to talk about Volkswagens, but we've been working on Volkswagens for the last few years, so they were kind of our brand of brands. And talked him into, since he was in the market for a car, talked him into getting a Volkswagen. So we went to the VW dealer in St. Cloud, and it was Ike Motors, and surprisingly, he had a brother which had a car lot in Twin Cities. Years later, we found out Ike had a used car lot, so his brother in the cities here had a car lot, and we bought. That's where we bought the car, and I'll talk about that at a later date. But those were fun. French car, the car. But talked him into getting a newer Jetta, Volkswagen Jetta. I was trying to remember the bloody year. We got, it was just a year. We moved back in 87, so it was just a year old, so I think it was in 86. Because when we was in the cities there, before we moved up north to Floodwood, we had a Alliance, and again, it's was a French car, because we on the west coast we worked on German and French cars, so we're kind of partial to those. Even though once we moved back to the Midwest here, there wasn't that many imports, so we had to picked up on the Chrysler family and worked on those for a few years. Well, we got Grandpa Frankie talked into a Jetta, and they had just plain radio in there, so we pulled out the Volkswagen radio and put in a. And it was brand new, right off the shelf. Went down to the part store. So like was it Pet Boys or whatever you want to call it then? But they had a brand new, what do you call it? 8-track stereo car stereo player, which was really nice. It was the way it was designed was pretty cool. So it fit right in there. And what they had was that the 8-track, because at that time it was pretty much conversion over to cassette at that point. But it was a good deal. He did have some 8 tracks, so we had to buy this adapter that the cassettes would fit in. The cassette would fit in the 8-track adapter, and the 8-track adapter would fit into the player. It's pretty cool. I remember in Oklahoma, looking. There's I don't think they're around anymore. TG&Y, but there was one downtown Yukon there, and I remember looking in the car stereo department, and this was when cassettes just first started coming out, so they still had the 8 tracks. They had an 8-track and a cassette player in one unit. I thought that was just the neatest thing, is that they had both 8-track and cassette, so you could play either or. But yeah, That was it. That was those two. All right. Since we was talking about Volkswagens, we worked. Let's see, the first Volkswagen that I got to drive when I moved up to Minnesota here. Gordon was a big VW Volkswagen fanatic. Really had a love and a passion for him, which he passed on to me. Like I said, we worked on Volkswagens for. See, the last one we had, we still got one parked up north. Actually, we got two of them. We had a bug and a bus still parked up north. But when we moved up to Floodwood in '92, we drove up a black bug, parked it there, and drove up a Volkswagen bus and parked it there. And that Volkswagen bus is the one I told you about on the we had the mega Halloween mega snowstorm in '91, the year before we moved up that winter. And it was just it had, and the thing about this today, it had the coolest heating system. Usually in Minnesota, things start to rust out. You know, the first thing that's rust out is the heat ducts that run up and down, because you got, you know, your engine's in the back, so that's where you have to bring the heat up to the front, and you have these ducts running all along the side. If they're bugs, they had them running along the side of the frame, the rocker panels. So I'm thinking, and they'd rust out, and then you'd lose your heat. So you'd have to adapt and found very ingenious ways of getting heat into the buggy, into the front. But that Volkswagen bus had a aftermarket gasoline heater, and that was just so sweet. So you go out there and you could start the van and kick that gasoline heater going. And all it was just a turbo tube like this, and it had just a burner on one end, and it just fired that flame down there, and it just cooked that baby up. I thought that was just so you know, it was dangerous, because you got combustible gasoline ran through a unit like that. But when it worked, it really pumped out some heat. I remember seeing one in someone had put in a Volkswagen Bug when he was looking at bugs one time, and didn't really understand how it worked, but now I do, and I'm a firm believer. I almost pulled the thing out and stuck it in the shop when he was working up there, but we decided to go with the old-fashioned fireplace burner, and even then in the shop we see, where was it? We bought and cut, buy a big old 50-gallon drum, and you could buy these kits to build your own barrel. It's called a barrel stove. And what we do is you could buy this adapter kit, so you could put one barrel on top of the other barrel, so you had a good space for, all the heat wasn't going straight out the stove pipe out. It was going into the second barrel, and then that would kind of hold the heat and radiate a tremendous amount of heat that you'd save, and then it would go out. I remember we did buy a pretty heavy-duty furnace, gas. I don't say furnace, because furnaces take furnaces, but this was a wood burner, but it was a big square. Someone had made big square box, and inside of it, the way it was designed, it flowed through and up and flowed back through and then came out. But the way they designed it, I remember was having a hard time opening the door, put wood in without smoke coming out. So we took it back out and went with the double barrel one. But had plenty of woods there. I remember the first 2 years was just cutting down trees, and by especially that first year was just clearing the land to build a shop there, but and stockpiled all that wood, and then by the next year it was seasoned. It was excellent burning material. Had no problem heating the garage. I remember many mornings, first thing I'd do is get up, put on coffee, and then go out and start the wood burner. And we had heat and electricity, tunes. all right with the road. But the first Volkswagen, go back to that, was the Bug. Gordon had a picture of. I'll have to find that. But one that he completely restored. Beautiful thing. But this was an older rusty one. God, it had to be probably like a 71, I'm guessing. But it was red, and it was a auto stick, and those were pretty rare. You didn't really have to push in the clutch. You know, most of them were stick shift. This one was a they call semi-automatic. So when you pushed on the gas, as soon as you let up, it had a vacuum system that would suck and let you shift the automatic. So it was an semi-automatic. So you had no clutch, but it was just the way that it was designed, and it was slick. And I wasn't adverse to using clutches yet. Gordon had to teach me how to do a stick shift, which took some doing. But this one I remember was so cool. I remember was driving to town, because we'd always, after it did snow, head in and help Frankie clear the driveway. And he was heading in, and he got pulled over by the cops. And I remember he was just so pissed and upset about something. And because when we bought it in Minnesota, you got to have two plates in the front and in the back. And when I was coming down the road, there was nothing in the front, so he had to turn around and come back and pull us over. And when he explained it, we just bought it, and it was supposed to be like a yellow sticker that you're supposed to carry in the back in the window. But I don't know if there was snow on it or something, and he didn't see it. But he was just just so upset that he had to force him to turn around, come back, and pull us over because we didn't have a plate on the front. But he let us go, and it's just weird how things like that stick in your head. But stick shift. I don't think we had another one until, I'm trying to remember, we had that one. And the only other automatic, all the rest were stick shifts on the air-cooled engines. The only other one was a Volkswagen bus, and this was a newer bus. I remember they had, it was automatic. There's one that is the one that I tipped over, carried firewood in, and God, it had to be the one. Yep, it was one that we brought back with us. That's when we came back, when we left Washington, we loaded, and we had two Volkswagen buses. Earlier pre-Porsche engine, the newer style Volkswagen buses had the Porsche engine, so they had not lacking for power at all. But the earlier ones, up to like 74, had the old like 1600 engines. But after that, then they put in Porsche engines. Yeah, many Volkswagens. I got some cool pictures of ones that we restored both here. I even found a video. My mother was up in 88, 87, 88. We had one restored that was sitting in we had our shop in Blaine, and I'll try to get that posted, because I finally found the VHS and had it transferred over. We have a transfer recorder, and got that successfully transferred over to the CD. So now I can pop the CD into one of these computers and get it uploaded. So with that, there was a commercial, and I think they dated it 1985, 85 or 86. Michael J. Fox. He had some, was it Family Ties? There was a show that he did in the early 80s. Family Ties. Before he did the Back to the Future series. Michael J. Fox. Back to the Future series. But he did a Volkswagen commercial, and it was really popular. That they were just cruising around in a Volkswagen Jetta. This is like Grandpa Frankie's Jetta. That's what he bought, was Jetta. So I'm gonna play this. It's by a German group called Trio. But that's the commercial. As soon as you hear that, you know the commercial rings a bell. Pretty cool. Anything to sell. Some things that are very catchy and do sell. But February 21st, 2013. Yeah, a little higher. February 21st, 2013.